Winter weather tops our morning rush this morning. Snow is coming down in parts of New Mexico, including the East Mountains, where all East Mountain schools are closed for the day. Take a look at this video from Cedille Hill. This morning it shows roads already covered in snow and are dicey.
The snow is now making for some difficult driving conditions for commuters heading north of Albuquerque. Here's a closer look at I-25 in Santa Fe near St. Francis Drive. Snow is accumulating on the side of the roadway, and now that means that there could be some dicey spots on the pavement itself.
Here's a map of all the areas dealing with difficult driving this morning to include northern and northeast New Mexico. Where's that storm now? Let's toss things over to Erica Meyer.
Yep, we have the winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across the state. Most of these already in effect. In pink, that's where you will see the messiest driving conditions. Those winter storm warnings go until 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, the city of Albuquerque is now looking for help from lawmakers with a number of big projects, and Balloon Fiesta Park tops the list. The city is hoping to get $17 million from the state to add archways, a vendor promenade, and more permanent buildings. That project could start later on this year.
Vaccine cards or proof of a negative COVID test will be required at all Lobo basketball games for the rest of the season. UNM put the COVID-safe protocols into place at the pit in December. They say overall fans have done a great job following the rules, including the mask mandate.
More spectators will now be allowed at APS events as long as their COVID numbers stay down. 2 weeks ago, the district announced a temporary ban on spectators as schools grappled with a rise in positive tests. Starting today, those restrictions will be lifted district-wide. Now, only schools with an infection rate of 5% or higher will have to impose the limitations.
A woman with 4 DWI convictions will soon head to her sentencing for a 5th charge. Marlene Whitecoat pled guilty as a repeat offender in her latest case. Last spring, she was pulled over for driving more than 100 miles per hour on I-40, then switched seats with her passengers and she was under the influence. Erica.
And here's a look at satellite and radar. We're seeing the heaviest snow in north central New Mexico up around the Jemez and Sangre de Cristo Mountains. We're also seeing heavy snow through the East Plains and the East Mountains area.
An armed suspect is dead this morning after an APD officer shot and killed him in a stolen car. Yesterday, when officers tried to pull over that stolen pickup, they say that the driver fled. Now, when they caught up with him, police say that he tried to flee on foot before officers tased him, then ended up shooting and killing him. APD has not identified the man who was killed.
Fired Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores is suing the NFL and 3 of its teams. The lawsuit seeks damages from the league, the Dolphins, the Denver Broncos, and New York Giants, along with unidentified individuals. The lawsuit alleges that the league has discriminated against Flores and other black coaches for racial reasons.
A man with a long history of domestic violence charges is waking up behind bars again. A month after he is accused of ditching his GPS ankle monitor, Daniel Drake was arrested on Monday night following the latest in a string of alleged acts of violence against his ex-girlfriend, which is why he was on court supervision in the first place.
One Minnesota student is dead. Another is fighting for their life, critically injured after a shooting outside of a school. The superintendent is calling this a terrible tragedy for the Minneapolis suburb. Police have arrested 2 suspects and recovered a handgun, but have not released further details about them.
All right, let's get a look at the morning drive. Here's a look at the maps. We do have some slowdowns if you're heading towards the East Mountains area, but everything in the metro is looking clear. The roads are just wet. We are seeing some snow coming down in Albuquerque. That will start adding up on the roads by later on this morning and today.
Well, Cheerios wants you to pour something other than milk into their cereal. General Mills and Rapper Iced Tea will lead a workout series combined with a new line of cereals. Now, you just look for a limited edition Honey Nut regular Cheerios, apple cinnamon, chocolate, and new strawberry banana Cheerios that have heart-shaped O's.
Oh.
Welcome back. Here's a look at our forecast high temperatures today. We are going to be staying much cooler than yesterday, so be sure as you're stepping out, you're wearing those warmer winter layers. Of course, the snow gear as well for later on today, and we'll be seeing highs in the teens for the northeast highlands, the 20s and 30s in northern New Mexico, and some 40s and 50s across the south.
All right, time for the 5 facts.
And number 5, art is imitating political life. This is at Teatro Paraguas in Santa Fe with a stage reading of a play called Save the Bees. The state senator has now found a way to take the drama inside the Capitol and then put it on the stage. State Senator Bill O'Neill is the author behind the play that was born from a real-life vote at the Roundhouse that was on a bill designed to save bees.
Number 4, now more spectators will now be allowed at APS events as long as their COVID numbers stay down. 2 weeks ago, the district announced a temporary ban of spectators as schools grappled with the rise in COVID cases. Last week, they relaxed the policy to allow 2 spectators per student. Starting today, those restrictions will be lifted district-wide. Only schools with an infection rate of 5% or higher will have to impose limitations. Right now, no APS high schools are above that threshold.
And at number 3, an armed suspect is dead this morning after an APD officer shot and killed him in a stolen car. This was the day after the chief testified before lawmakers about how bad crime is here in the metro. The officer-involved shooting happened yesterday. Officers tried to pull over that stolen pickup near Carlisle and Montgomery. They later caught up with him at a motel near 4th and Manal. That's where they say he tried to flee on foot before officers tased him and then ended up shooting and killing him. The department is now still investigating what prompted officers to open fire. Meanwhile, APD has not identified the man who was killed.
Number 2, now this morning, police are searching for a shoplifting suspect who caused panic after shooting off several rounds near the entrance of a busy Walmart. Yesterday morning at the Walmart neighborhood market near San Mateo on I-40, police employees attempted to take a woman suspected of shoplifting to the back office. Workers said that she refused and left the store before getting into a car and shooting a gun where employees were standing. APD's chief, Harold Medina, says the department is now charging shoplifting suspects with robbery when they are armed.
And at number 1, we are seeing that winter storm in the state today, and it's going to get worse as the day goes on. Winter storm impacts will be highest around the mountains and central and eastern New Mexico. Be very safe on the roads today, and most of the state will see at least a little bit of snow. So make sure that you have your safety kit ready in your car in case you end up getting stuck somewhere, and be sure to be bundled up today.
We'll see you now at 7 a.m. on Fox New Mexico.